So we're going to start by cutting 45 inches of our cording off of the roll. We have our fabric that we're folding at the selvages. We're folding it together, wrong sides together, so wrong sides touching each other. And we're going to fold it. We are going to sew 1/4 of an inch only. This one is 1/4 of an inch. We're going to back stitch a few times at the top, sew down here and back stitch, and we're going to mark 3 inches from this side, mark 3 inches with our friction pen, and we're going to sew, back stitch again 1/4 of an inch from here, and we're going to sew up to here, and we're going to again do our back stitch a few times here to secure it. Alright, so we're going to start at the top of our selvage, and we're going to do a little back stitch at the top. Remember, we're going 1/4 of an inch, only 1/4 of an inch. We're doing something called a French seam. Again, go from the bottom this time on this one, and we're going to again back stitch at the beginning, and we're going to do our 1/4 of an inch seam. And remember, we are stopping at that 3-inch mark that we made, and we're going to back stitch a few times. And so now we're going to make sure that we don't have any of these extra threads hanging out, because we're going to turn this inside out. And we're going to make sure we have all of our other threads cut on all of the beginning and ending seams. Alright. So now we have the outside facing out. So now we're going to turn it, everything inside out, so that it's inside out, and we are going to use something like a pair of scissors, and we're just going to push our corners out gently. We don't want to poke through the fabric. Just gently push them out, and we're going to take them to the iron, and we're going to press it. So now we're at our iron, and we're just going to press those seams that we just made, just so that it's flat. And we're going to do a 1/2 inch seam now. Once this is all pressed flat, we're going to do a 1/2 inch seam. And alright, so now we've turned it right side in. We're going to sew just down the 2 sides. The bottom is already finished, so we're going to back stitch. Remember, we're doing 1/2 inch. We're going to back stitch at the top, straight down, and back stitch at the bottom. Put your threads nice and close. And then we're going to start at the bottom of the other side that we are going to stop 3 inches from the selvage. We're going to back stitch again at our beginning of our seam. We're going to take it up to that 3-inch mark, and we will back stitch. Trim nice and neat. And we are going to turn it right side out. And again, I will take something sharp and just gently poke my corners out so that we don't make a hole. And we're going to then take it to the iron to give it a press, and we're going to press down the areas that we're going to make our casing. Okay, so I'm just pressing my seams and making sure that these seams are actually open and not folded. Alright, and so now where we have left that 3-inch opening, so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of follow how we had sewn before. So we're going to turn in a quarter of an inch right sides together there, and then half an inch wrong sides together like that. And we're just going to give that a fold and a press. As you can see, that's how we had sewn it originally. Do the same thing to the other side. Quarter of an inch and a half an inch, and we're going to give that a press. Then we're going to take that to our machine, and we're going to just zigzag here and here. Both of these areas, we're just going to zigzag it to secure this so that it doesn't fray. Both of these openings that we just finished pressing. And we're just doing it so that we can kind of encase that raw edge. As you can see, it's encased so that when it's washed, it's not going to come apart. Alright, so next we're going to fold down a half of an inch on our selvaged edge and press all the way around the opening. And then we're going to turn in about an inch. And if you like, you can measure it. You can measure it with, if you have a ruler or a tape measure, doesn't really matter. And I just draw my 1 inch. And I'm just going to fold along that 1 inch line, give it a press. So it's turned down approximately an inch, and give it a press. And then the last bit of sewing is we're going to take it to the machine. We're going to sew along this seam right along the edge from the one side to the other, and then we're going to sew maybe of a quarter of an inch edge stitch on the top of this, and we're almost done. Alright, so we're back at our machine, and we're just going to do a straight stitch to secure this. Remember, we'll need a nice back stitch, a few stitches, because there's going to be a lot of pull on there when the drawstring is in. And we're just going to do a nice straight stitch right along the edge here. And again, we are going to secure the end with some back stitches. Trim nice and clean, the beginning and the end, and then we're going to do that one more time, but this time we're going to do it at the top where the fold is, about a quarter of an inch. You don't need to back tack too much there because there will be really no strain. clean, and your sewing is finished. Now all we need to do is thread our tie through our casing. So we're going to need a large safety pin and our 45-inch cording here. We're going to put that in, and you're just going to thread it right through the casing. Alright, so I've threaded it all the way through. I'm going to remove my pin, and we just need to tie this into a knot so that it stops the fraying. A nice tight knot, and there we have our bag.